Supporters, well, we are in the aftermath, the fallout of what we saw last night between the Indiana Fever and an expansion team, the Portland Fire, a blowout loss in which we have seen, the Indiana Fever take real fire from fans. They're upset. They're livid.
The Indiana Fever's disappointing loss sparked an immediate wave of frustration across social media, with fans demanding answers about what went wrong. While blowout defeats usually bring criticism about defense, turnovers, or poor shooting, this game generated a completely different conversation. Viewers became fixated on the coaching decisions surrounding Caitlin Clark and the way she was being utilized throughout the game. What should have been a routine regular season matchup quickly turned into a major controversy as supporters questioned whether the team was putting its biggest star in the best position to succeed.
This wasn't just a normal coaching moment. During an active disagreement with Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White appeared to turn a signal for Raven Johnson while Caitlin Clark was standing right in her face. This is her superstar, a franchise player we are talking about. There's already a narrative that this is why they drafted Raven to replace Caitlin in the first place. So whether the substitution itself was justified or not, it clearly wasn't to me, and I'm gonna just play it for you guys first so you guys get a good understanding of what I'm talking about. So as you can see, Stephanie White is going off on Caitlin Clark.
Much of the attention centered on a tense sideline moment involving head coach Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark. Cameras appeared to capture a disagreement before a substitution was made, creating a wave of speculation online. Fans immediately began debating whether the decision was purely strategic or a sign of deeper frustrations behind the scenes. Because Clark is the face of the franchise, every interaction becomes magnified, and this particular sequence only intensified concerns about the relationship between the star player and the coaching staff.
Is burning down while the house is on fire, while Caitlin Clark fans have pitchforks in their hands, and rightfully so, marching, stomping, rioting, demanding change, as we should. Christy sides. She peeks in a little bit. From time to time, Chrissy Sides peeks in to monitor the situation. Hey, what's going on over there? Oh, damn. Stephanie really ain't getting it done like I...
As the game unfolded, many supporters noticed a pattern they felt had appeared multiple times throughout the season. Whenever Clark seemed to establish an offensive rhythm, a substitution or rotation change would interrupt the flow. Fans argued that these decisions repeatedly halted momentum and prevented Indiana from fully capitalizing on Clark's playmaking abilities. Whether intentional or not, the perception that her impact was being limited became one of the biggest talking points following the loss.
Is a fork in the road type defeat. This is where you audit whoever you are going to be for the season. This is where you got to look and decide what identity is this team. And Stephanie White, the time has come. I have been cooler than a fan when it comes to talking about Stephanie White, because quite frankly, I think there's a lot that gets dumped on her that might not necessarily.
Frustration grew because Clark appeared healthy, engaged, and ready to lead the offense whenever she was on the floor. There were no visible signs suggesting she needed extended rest, which led many fans to question the reasoning behind certain rotation decisions. In a league where elite guards thrive on rhythm and continuity, supporters felt that frequent interruptions were making it harder for Clark to fully control the game and maximize her influence.
Caitlin Clark fans, mainly because seems to happen after every game. My shining star is being mistreated. Stephanie White hates her. It's not fair. They're like the boys who cried Clark. After every game, there seems to be an overreaction. A couple weeks ago, the Indiana Clarks announced around 90 minutes before tip-off that their only star would be missing their game against the Portland.
Social media quickly transformed the debate from a discussion about one game into a broader conversation about the Indiana Fever's long-term direction. Fans began comparing this performance to previous matchups, pointing to similar stretches where Clark's playing time seemed disconnected from the flow of the game. As more examples surfaced, many supporters started wondering whether these coaching choices represented a larger organizational philosophy rather than isolated decisions.
Now, on top of everything else, just coming off of them having words the other day during a game, we've got more footage of Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White going at it. You know, my boy Rudy over at the Come On Now podcast said he believes the locker room may be fractured. I saw a comment.
The controversy intensified because Indiana often struggled offensively whenever Clark was off the floor. Without her ability to push the pace, create spacing, and generate scoring opportunities, the Fever frequently looked less organized and less dangerous. Neutral observers began asking the same question as dedicated fans. Why was the player who seemed to stabilize the offense spending so much time watching from the bench during critical stretches?
It's over, guys. Caitlin Clark is mentally checked out. She's done. She's done. She's done with Stephanie White. She's done with Stephanie White. Look at this here. This is a player that is mentally done. Stephanie White, congratulations. You have mentally defeated Caitlin Clark. She's done.
Adding fuel to the fire were reports and rumors suggesting tension within the organization. While no concrete evidence emerged, every visible disagreement between Clark and the coaching staff became headline material. Fans interpreted body language, sideline conversations, and substitution patterns as signs of a growing disconnect. Whether those interpretations were accurate or not, they helped drive one of the most intense debates surrounding the team all season.
Does something back. Gotta be talking about defense, the way Caitlin Clark signaled her hands, and Stephanie White tells Caitlin to get up and Raven to take her spot. Now this is where things completely get awkward. I cannot believe my eyes. Wow. The fact that Caitlin Clark shook her head and all is insane. The optics are difficult to ignore. You're talking about the face of the franchise, one of the biggest stars in basketball itself, and the interaction unfolded in full view of the cameras, like not in the locker room.
As frustration continued to build, attention shifted toward accountability. Many supporters argued that the Fever were failing to create a consistent offensive identity around their most valuable asset. Instead of fully embracing Clark's strengths, critics claimed the team was relying on rotations and strategies that disrupted continuity. This belief transformed a single loss into a larger discussion about leadership, coaching philosophy, and player development.
I don't think they do. It felt like they quit on not only themselves, but they quit on you as a coach. And this was shambolic effort-wise. The referees obviously didn't help. I don't really have too much in the way of basketball, things to give you. She made that substitution in the first quarter, and the team never recovered. They are operating as if they have lost all hope.
The optics became even more controversial because every interaction involving Clark unfolded under constant media attention. As one of the most recognizable figures in women's basketball, every gesture and every substitution was analyzed in real time. Fans felt that situations which might normally go unnoticed became major stories simply because of Clark's popularity and the enormous spotlight surrounding her every game.
The Fever organization wasn't being fully transparent with her back injury. They were ripping fans off, they charged full price for tickets, and failed to deliver the only star that people are willing to pay to see. As it turns out, Caitlin Clark pulled herself out of that game. It wasn't some grand conspiracy. Hell, we see this same thing happen with star players in the NBA every night.
Analysts and commentators offered different perspectives on the situation. Some argued that the coaching staff was simply attempting to balance player development and manage workloads over a long season. Others believed the Fever were overthinking their approach and failing to take full advantage of a generational talent. Regardless of which side people supported, nearly everyone agreed that Clark's impact on the game was impossible to ignore.
Spare time yesterday, while she was on the golf course, for drinking some pina coladas, maybe having a couple beers. Chrissy Side strikes me as a beer drinker. She decides to troll the Indiana Fever a little bit. I'm having a great time. While you guys are doing whatever the hell this is, I'm having a great time. Chrissy Sides, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Christy. We got some rumors, some news. Caitlin Clark non-committal.
The debate ultimately highlighted a deeper issue facing the franchise. Whenever Clark was actively involved, the offense often appeared faster, more confident, and significantly more dangerous. When she left the floor, that energy frequently disappeared. Fans viewed this contrast as evidence that Indiana needed to simplify its approach and place greater trust in the player who consistently generated the team's best moments.
It's over. I'm letting it be known once again. I'm rooting for Caitlin Clark 100%. While rooting for Caitlin Clark, I will be rooting for the Indiana Fever to lose games in order to get Stephanie White fired. I am done with this crap. It's over. We should never see Caitlin Clark like that. This is the greatest thing she is the greatest thing that has ever happened to this league. And Stephanie White has done everything she can to completely ruin her.
As the Fever move forward, the pressure surrounding every decision will only continue to grow. Fans are no longer evaluating the team solely based on wins and losses. Instead, they are watching closely to see whether the organization fully commits to building around Caitlin Clark's unique abilities. Until those questions are answered, every substitution, every timeout, and every coaching decision will remain under intense scrutiny from one of the most passionate fan bases in basketball.